The therapy is working, the journal is full. You've read the books, cut the contact, done the work. So why do you still flinch when someone raises their voice? Why does a text that takes too long to reply feel like a countdown to something terrible? Why does being loved, actually consistently loved, make you more anxious than being alone? This isn't weakness. This isn't you being not healed yet. This is your nervous system running a program it was forced to install. And the reason you can't delete it? You've been trying to fix it with the wrong tools. Here is what no one in the healing space wants to say out loud. The standard recovery model, the one built on therapy, boundaries, self-love, and time, was not designed for what happened to you. It was designed for grief, for loss, for the kind of pain that comes from things falling apart. Narcissistic abuse is something else entirely. It isn't a wound, it's an override. A skilled narcissist doesn't just hurt you. They operate on your perception, the part of your brain responsible for reading reality, assessing safety, and deciding who you are. They do this through gaslighting, through intermittent reward, through making you doubt your own memory so consistently that eventually your own mind becomes an unreliable narrator. The problem isn't your effort, the problem is the framework. Stay with this, because the next 5 minutes are going to reframe everything, including why you've been measuring your healing wrong from the beginning. Part 1. What narcissistic abuse actually does to you. Your brain has a threat detection system. It's ancient, fast, and it doesn't ask for your opinion. When danger appears, it fires. When danger passes, it resets. But here is the specific cruelty of narcissistic abuse. It never let the danger pass. For months, maybe years, you lived in an environment where safety and threat were randomized. Affection appeared without warning. Cruelty arrived the same way. There was no pattern to learn, no behavior that reliably produced safety. So your nervous system did the only logical thing. It stopped expecting safety to exist. Right now, your threat detection system is not broken. It is exquisitely calibrated for an environment you no longer live in. This is why you feel anxious in calm situations, why you catastrophize small things, why someone being patient with you reads as suspicious instead of safe. Your brain is not betraying you. It's protecting you from a threat that no longer exists. And it will keep doing that, with or without your permission, until the nervous system itself is retrained. Journaling does not retrain a nervous system. Positive thinking does not retrain a nervous system. And this is exactly where the standard healing model runs out of road. Here's a number the self-help industry doesn't put on their book covers. On average, it takes 7 years from first recognizing the abuse to fully leaving a narcissistic relationship. Not because the victim is weak, not because they don't know better, because the neurological architecture keeping them attached is the same architecture that kept them alive inside the relationship. You were not trapped by love. You were trapped by a survival system doing its job, and no amount of willpower overrides a survival system. Part 2. Why everything you've tried has failed. You've probably already tried some version of the following: therapy, maybe lots of it. And it helped, partially. Enough to keep you functional, not enough to make you feel free. That's not the therapist's fault. Talking about trauma engages your prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain. But the threat response lives deeper than thought. You're essentially trying to negotiate with a system that has no interest in your reasoning. You tried no contact, and it was necessary. But something nobody told you about no contact is that it removes the source without removing the programming. You left the environment. The environment didn't leave you. Maybe you tried dating again, trying to prove to yourself you were healed. And for a while, it worked, and then something small happened. A shift in tone, a canceled plan, an unanswered message. And suddenly you were back, not just emotionally, but physically. Heart rate spiking, thoughts spiraling, completely hijacked. A trigger is not a memory, it's your nervous system pattern, matching present data to past threat and firing accordingly. Until you change what the nervous system is matching against, the trigger keeps firing, regardless of how much you've healed in your mind. Here's the thing no recovery account will post. Some of you are unconsciously more comfortable in chaos than in calm, not because something is wrong with you, because your nervous system was trained, over years, to associate unpredictability with closeness and stability with the eerie silence before something bad happened. So when someone shows up consistently, without drama, without conditions, you feel nothing. Or worse, you feel suspicious. That's not you being damaged, that's you being human after what you went through. But it means that peace, actual relational peace, will feel wrong before it feels right. And most people mistake that discomfort for incompatibility and walk away from the safest thing they've ever had. Part 3. What actually works? So what does the evidence actually support? Not a list. A sequence, because order matters here. The first thing that has to happen is regulation before processing. Before you can make meaning of what happened to you, your body needs to stop treating the present as a war zone. This is where somatic work, EMDR, somatic experiencing, structured breathwork, does what talking alone cannot. These aren't alternative therapies. They're direct interventions on the threat system at the physiological level. You're not revisiting the trauma. You're teaching the body that it survived it. The second thing is what trauma researchers call corrective relational experience. Because here's the brutal reality. The brain heals relational wounds through relationship, not by avoiding it. The goal is not to find safe people so you feel better. The goal is to expose your nervous system slowly in low-stakes environments to evidence that consistency exists, that people can be boring and predictable, and that is the point. And the third, the one that takes the longest, is identity reconstruction. Because a narcissist doesn't just damage your confidence, they author your self-concept. Over time, your sense of what you like, what you need, what you deserve, all of it got filtered through their reality. What you're rebuilding now isn't your old self. That version was partly constructed inside the relationship anyway. You're building something new. You are not returning to who you were. You are becoming who you would have been. And that is slower and harder and worth every uncomfortable second of it. The most disorienting part of real healing, the part nobody prepares you for, is that it doesn't feel like getting better. It feels like falling apart in new ways. Old coping mechanisms stop working. Relationships that made sense when you were dysregulated start feeling wrong. The personality you built to survive starts to feel like a costume. That is not a breakdown. That is your nervous system finally letting go of the architecture it built to keep you safe inside the abuse. The collapse is the healing. Here is what this entire video has been building toward. You have not been failing to heal. You have been healing with tools designed for a different kind of pain, applied to a wound that operates at a different level entirely. The narcissist didn't just leave you hurt. They left you with a nervous system that learned to treat your own peace as a threat, that learned to find chaos familiar, that learned to mistake intensity for love and consistency for danger. You cannot think your way out of that. You cannot wish your way out of it. You can only experience your way out through the body, through corrective relationships, through the slow, unglamorous process of building a self that was never fully allowed to exist. The narcissist took up space in your nervous system. Healing is an eviction, and evictions take time, the right process, and the willingness to stop confusing effort with effectiveness. You don't need to try harder. you need to try differently. If this reframes something, share it with someone still stuck in the loop. Most people don't know why they can't move forward. Now you do. And if this channel is where you come for the uncomfortable, unfiltered version of how human psychology actually works, subscribe. Every video on this channel exists to say the thing the algorithm usually buries. Make sure to subscribe, because my next deep dive on the gamma male trap, why nice guys finish. Last Psychologically goes live on Friday. See you in the next.